business. Thanks for coming out tonight.
I wrote me a manual, a step-by-step booklet for you to get.
Oh, I make money moves.
You can't see me, my time is now.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the Fitness Times Business Podcast, the show created to provide you with the practical and strategic advice to help you level up in fitness, business, your career, your relationships, and your life. My name is Joseph Mencel. I am your host, flying solo in the first episode for the new year, the first episode of the pod for 2023. And guys, I am pumped about what we have in store for you in this show this year. Starting off with this episode, and it's going to be timely because this right now, this period of the year, this is goal set. This is planning. I know a bunch of you have spent the first couple of weeks, the first 3 weeks of this year, planning your goals, setting your goals, figuring out what you want to achieve with this brand new year. And for the most part, motivation levels are high. We've closed out 2022. We've opened the door on 2023. We've got our goals in motion. We've got our plans in motion, and we're just fucking pumped to get stuck in to the year. And so what I want to talk to you guys about in this episode is to take this theme and effectively flip it on its head. Because one thing that I can guarantee for you guys is as you start working towards these big, ambitious goals that you have set for the different areas of your life in 2023, and I know you guys are setting big, ambitious goals because that is why you're listening to this show in the first place. As you start working towards these big, ambitious goals, you're going to come up against some challenges, and what you do in the face of those challenges is going to determine how close you get to achieving these goals, whether you achieve these goals at all, whether you stay on the track, whether you stay in pursuit of achieving your goals. So that's the theme for this episode of the pod. But before I get into the juicy content, guys, season 9 of the MJ Fitness Challenge. I have to tell you guys about this because I know, so far as goals are concerned, a lot of you have set health and fitness related goals, and a lot of you are going to get so much fucking value out of the MJ Fitness Challenge. It will literally blow your mind. And one thing is guaranteed, if you're willing to commit and do the work, the challenge is going to help you progress towards your health and fitness goals. So quick details for you guys. For those of you who are unaware, the MJ Fitness Challenge is a 10-week physical and psychological transformation program. We're helping you achieve your health and fitness goals, but through the process, we're helping you develop perseverance. We're helping you develop grit. We're helping you develop all of the psychological tools that you need to not just achieve your health and fitness goals, but achieve whatever goals you're trying to achieve in all areas of your life. It's for both men and women of all ages, and it's worldwide. A lot of people think you can only do it if you live in Australia. We have people from the US, we have people from the UK, we have people from different parts of Europe, New Zealand, Canada, Asia, all over the place doing the MJ Fitness Challenge. Open to everybody worldwide. You're going to get a diet plan, a customized meal plan, a workout program, a cardio program, a supplement plan, and a motivational guide. In addition, your meal plan and your workout program get updated at the 5-week point, so the halfway point of the 10-week challenge. You also get access to the MJ Fitness Challenge community on Facebook. You also get access to exclusive webinars throughout the challenge. And on top of all of this, you get over $100 worth of free merchandise just for signing up. You're in the draw just by participating and making it to the end of the 10 weeks. To share in over $10,000 worth of prizes up for grabs. I know for a lot of you, winning is not the motivator for doing the challenge. The motivator is actually achieving your health and fitness goals. But there's a little kicker at the end there. There's a lot of prizes up for grabs, cash and prizes, I should add. And the coolest thing is, guys, if you register, registration's open right now. If you register before January 29, it's going to cost you just $149.95 in Australian dollars, which in US dollars, as a reference point, is less than 100 US bucks at this point in time. It's less than 15 bucks per week. It's about $2 a day, less than a coffee a day. And you're getting all of this value. mjfitnesschallenge.com.au. If there's nothing else you guys do, at least go check out the website. Have a look at the past transformations. Have a look at everything that you're getting for the $150 if you sign up before January 21. We're trying to have our biggest challenge ever, season 9. mjfitnesschallenge.com.au. Go check it out. So you guys have set your goals. Or perhaps you're in the process of setting goals, but you're getting there, right? You're trying to, if you've listened to the episode of this podcast called 5-Step New Year Goal Setting Methodology, it's a few years old now, but I haven't done an updated version because the content is still the best shit that I can come up with. You guys are following that 5-step process and you're taking your time. You're setting your goals. You're being ambitious with your goals. You're making sure that you're breaking your goals down into SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. You've got the fucking perfect plan. Doesn't mean that your plan is going to go to plan once you start executing and once you start pursuing these different goals. As a matter of fact, guys, the more ambitious your goals are in the different areas of your life, if you're setting ambitious health and fitness goals, ambitious career goals, ambitious business goals, ambitious finance goals, ambitious personal goals, the more ambitious the goal, the more challenges you're going to come up against as you work towards these goals. And I can guarantee you guys, within the first few weeks of putting the plan in place, starting to execute, pursuing these different goals, you're going to come up against some obstacles. You're going to come up against some challenges. So what do? How do you handle the punches to the face? How do you handle the obstacles that you didn't foresee or you didn't plan for? What do? I think the first thing that I want to cover here, guys, is your mindset around the pursuit of the goals that you have set in different areas of your life. And I did touch on this in the most recent episode of Your Form, where I explained that as high achievers who set big, ambitious goals, it's very difficult for people like us to come up against obstacles, to come up against challenges, to come up against failure and identify as a high achiever when we're not achieving. It starts to break our identity down. So I encourage you guys, as I explained in that episode of Your For, to start trying to move your identity from being an achiever, from being a winner, from being somebody who achieves goals, from being a goal digger, to being somebody who learns, to being somebody who, in pursuit of trying to achieve certain goals and certain outcomes, takes lessons along the way, understands that failing in pursuit of trying to achieve goals is actually even more valuable than achieving the goals themselves, because the failures provide the opportunities to learn. The failures provide the lessons that, as a learner, first and foremost, you actually seek out. So I think from a mindset perspective, it's going to be really important this year in particular, guys, that we start shifting our identity from being first and foremost a high achiever, from being first and foremost somebody who wins, to being first and foremost somebody who learns. And I think it's also really important to understand that as a high achiever, as somebody who identifies as a winner, winning actually has more to do with the process of learning from the losses along the way, from learning from the failures along the way, and persevering through the punches to the face, than it actually does with winning itself, than it actually does with achieving the goals that we've set and achieving the goals that we're in pursuit of and achieving the goals that we're working towards. I think while we're doing that, while we're trying to shift that mindset, because it's not something that we can just kind of click our fingers and before we know it, we're no longer primarily identifying as a high achiever, we're primarily identifying as a learner. It's a process that needs to take place, and it's going to take a lot of time for that process to happen, but it's just about reminding ourselves time and time again, learner first and foremost, high achiever just behind that. it's really important to consider practically and strategically what we can do throughout 2023 and beyond to make sure that when we come up against the challenges, when we come up against the obstacles, when we come up against the failures, we're still doing everything we can do from a practical and strategic perspective to pursue the goals that we set at the start of the year. And this ultimately is going to come back to our controllables. It's going to come back to the 4 things that you guys have heard me talk about so many times, but I cannot talk about them enough. The 4 controllables, the 4 things that we can focus on that are always within our control, regardless of whatever the universe throws at us, regardless of the obstacles, regardless of the punches to the face, regardless of the challenges. We can always anchor back into our actions, our responses, our effort, and our attitude. When it comes to our actions, it's what we choose to do. And it's important that we're framing these as a choice because we can always choose how we act, how we respond, the amount of effort we put in, and our attitude. That's a choice. So when it comes to our actions, we're choosing what to do. We're choosing that I'm in pursuit of this particular goal, and I'm going to come up against these obstacles, and I'm going to come up against failure along the way. It's part of the process of learning. But what I choose to do is exert consistency and exert discipline in my actions and in my execution. I'm going to keep pursuing the goal. I'm not going to come up against the first obstacle and go, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to kick the bucket. I'm going to throw the towel in. This is bullshit. I didn't expect this. This was unexpected. I didn't plan for this, and fuck it, I'm out. We're not going to choose to do that. We're going to choose to continue executing. We're going to choose to exert discipline in our execution. We're going to choose to be consistent as fuck in pursuit of the different goals that we set at the start of the year. When it comes to our responses, we're going to choose to react to the failures along the way. We're going to choose to react to the challenges along the way. We're going to choose to react to the obstacles that we didn't foresee as opportunities to learn. This ties back into the mindset, as opportunities to develop the skills, the experience that we didn't have before we confronted the failures, before we confronted the obstacles and the challenges, to develop new skills, new experiences that are actually going to help us pursue and achieve the goals that we set. When it comes to our effort, we can always choose how much we try. We can always choose, regardless of the outcome, how much effort we exert. And we're going to choose to give everything we've got, every step along the way, regardless of the outcome. We're going to choose to understand that the more ambitious our goals, the bigger the goals that we set, more often than not, our best effort is not going to be good enough yet. Our best effort is not going to be good enough yet. But that is not an excuse to not give our best effort, because we understand that when we choose to exert 100% effort every step along the way, even if it's not enough yet, it will be. Because as we exert that effort, as we learn these lessons, as we confront these failures, we're developing the skills and the experience required to achieve the goals we're trying to achieve. And finally, our attitude. We can always choose how we perceive what's happening. We can always choose how we perceive the obstacles, how we perceive the challenges, how we perceive the failures. And I think something really important here, in addition to starting to shift our identity from an achiever to a learner, is when we're having negative thoughts, is have the mindfulness to step back from the thoughts and pattern interrupt those thoughts. So when we're in pursuit of achieving a certain goal and we come up against an obstacle, a challenge, and we fail, when our mind starts going, not good enough, not worth continuing to put in 100% effort, perhaps the goal I set was too ambitious, don't have the skills and experience to continue pursuing this goal, we catch ourselves in the moment and we pattern interrupt those negative thoughts. Hold on a second. Perhaps my best effort isn't enough yet, but this is an opportunity to learn. This is an opportunity to develop new skills and experience. This is an opportunity for me to embrace this process and continue in pursuit of the goal. The only way I'm going to eventually achieve the goal is to never fucking give up. Pattern interrupt. Catch yourself in a moment of mindfulness and go, hold on a second. I don't need to think this thought. Just because I'm thinking this thought doesn't mean it's true. I can pull myself out of this thought. I can question this thought, and I can actually pattern interrupt the thought that I'm having. And that's how we choose to adopt a positive growth attitude when it comes to pursuing goals and we come up against the failures, the challenges, and the obstacles along the way. I think just something in addition to these 4 controllables is setting ourselves up with an accountability partner. Setting ourselves up with somebody who knows a particular goal that we're trying to achieve, a particular goal that we're pursuing, and is able to help us out with keeping us on track with our controllables along the way when we come up against the obstacles that we didn't foresee. And this accountability partner could be in the business or the career realm, it could be a mentor. In the fitness realm, it could be a coach that you're working with or a trainer, a personal trainer that you're working with. I mean, it could even be your partner. It could be your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. Just having somebody other than yourself who understands the goals that you're trying to achieve or a goal that you're trying to achieve, who can keep you accountable to the 4 things you can control: your actions, your responses, your effort, your attitude, when you come up against the failures along the way. So I encourage you guys to seek out at least one. You can have multiple. You can have a different accountability partner for the different goals that you're trying to pursue. In fact, in most cases, it's probably beneficial to do so. Have a mentor in your business or your career. Have a trainer or a coach with regards to your fitness. Have perhaps a friend when it comes to your personal goals. Have a financial planner when it comes to your fund. Find different accountability partners who are going to be beneficial as you work towards achieving the different goals in the different areas of your life. I think that's really going to help us out as we pursue these big, ambitious goals in 2023. Ultimately, what a lot of this comes back to, guys, is this concept of, I call it success capacity. And I've spoken about this in the past a number of times, but I haven't addressed it for probably the best part of 12 to 18 months. And the way I like to think of success capacity is when you're achieving, when you're actually reaching the goals that you set, feels fucking great, right? Set a goal, work towards it, exert discipline along the way, take the punches to the face, figure out how to get around the obstacles, and you reach the goal. And you're like, fuck yes, this is the best. Feels really good in the moment. That's what I refer to as success fulfillment. You're fulfilling the success that you had the capacity to achieve. Fantastic. Feels great in the moment. But once you've reached that goal, how do you move on to the next one? How do you go to higher levels of success without developing new skills and new experiences? The way you do it is you develop what I refer to as a higher level of capacity for success, or capacity for higher levels of success. This is what I call success capacity. And the only way to increase your success capacity, the only way to increase your capacity for higher levels of success is to go through difficult shit. To go through and confront failures that you didn't anticipate. to come up against obstacles that you didn't foresee and go, I'm going to figure out how to go over this, around this, under this, or through this. And it's going to be fucking hard. But in navigating this obstacle, I know that I'm going to develop new skills and new experience and new levels of grit and perseverance and determination and discipline that through the process is actually going to increase my success capacity, is actually going to allow me to set bigger, more ambitious goals and work towards those goals that had it not been for the obstacle, had it not been for the failure, I would not have had the opportunity to develop that higher level of success capacity. And I can tell you guys from my personal experience in every area of my life, whether it be business, whether it be my personal life and my personal relationships, whether it be in my fitness and my career as a professional men's physique athlete, any finance, any area of my life that I look back on and I think about the really difficult shit. I think about, you know what? Back in 2016, I set these particular goals for my business and I didn't get there because I came up against this obstacle and this failure and this challenge and all that shit. And going through all of that actually allowed me in the years after to set bigger, more ambitious goals because they developed the skills, they developed the experience, they actually increased my success capacity. I can think back to even last year in my fitness, the goals that I had set as a professional men's physique athlete, what I wanted to do in that space. I didn't get there last year. I didn't achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve. I came up against obstacles that I didn't expect. I came up against failures that I hoped hadn't happened. But by going through them, confronting them and working through them, it's developed in literally 12 months. It's developed an elevated amount of success capacity that I've now gone, you know what? Fuck, that goal that I set just 12 months ago wasn't big enough. It wasn't big enough. My success capacity has increased in the last 12 months. I need to set bigger goals. And I've got the skills and experience to now start working towards them. I've got the skills and the experience to pursue those bigger goals. This is success capacity. And the only way that you can increase your success capacity is to go through the difficult shit, to go through things that are harder than you expected them to be. So I encourage you guys, as you're putting the final touches on your goals for 2023, as you're putting your strategic plans in place for the different areas of your life, and as you start on the pursuit of those goals, as you start executing and you're coming up against these challenges, think about this concept of success capacity and go, you know what? It doesn't even fucking matter if I achieve the goal by the time that I wanted to achieve the goal or I don't. What matters is that I work through the difficult shit that I didn't see coming. Because as I work through that, I'm increasing my success capacity, and that's going to allow me to continue to grow. It's going to allow me to continue to develop. It's going to allow me, first and foremost, to identity shift to a learner. And ironically, the more I learn, the more I achieve. 2023 is upon us, guys. Let's fucking go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. We hope you enjoyed listening. A couple of things to round out. Firstly, if you've yet to subscribe to the Fitness Times Business podcast on your favorite podcasting platform, make sure you do that right now so you don't miss any future episodes. Secondly, if you guys took some value from this episode, the one thing we ask in return is that you share the show. And finally, if you've yet to leave us a 5-star rating, make sure you do that before the next episode.